Welcome to Be Human podcast, episode 7 on AI. So, yeah, again, this is one that I wasn't certain if it should be an hour or to be human, especially since, well, AI, the philosophical question is AI, could AIs be, you know, classified as a person? So, yeah, but I figured it'd be technically perfect to cover AI in this podcast. And soon enough, I'll actually be back to, relevant stuff to, you know, humanity, technically, with the next ones. So, yeah. But anyway, today is AI. So I guess let's start with the question of if AIs can be classified as human or not. Like what defines a person? Because in the end of the day, by scientific terms, we're just a bunch of connections in our brain and like chemicals and all that. So yeah, is there really any difference because AIs are also a bunch of connections, even if it's wires and all that you know technical stuff, and it's not chemicals controlling them, but electricity. Like, is there really a difference? Like, sure, there's definitely some, you know, computers can be, you know, a lot faster, but they don't always, um, get, you know, that same, like, style of a human, like, you know, even though, you know, you know, art that has been made by AIs can be quite pretty. They don't always, you know, I don't know, get that, like that style and substance, that actual human would bring to the table. And AIs, yeah, again, are taking off, template of others. So technically, it's making something more generic and very calculated, where a human will you know make mistakes, but they can always improve and iterate and you know you know try again and again and again until they make a masterpiece. When AI just can get with basically like one shot if it's given the right prompts and is set up correctly, like to make art, that it can create an instant thing, but that negates all the painful process of creating true art. You know, like you know like a story. Stories get multiple drafts, many like iterations before a final version of the story, if there is ever a final version. Like some stories never really end, like my story. Like, it's an example where I've definitely contradicted myself, but then again, my world is anomalies. It's literal living contradictions, to standard reality. So when creating a story about, things that contradict with our actual world, you know, contradictions in the story, I guess only technically make sense because, you know, the world isn't stable, like the rules are always changing, like some rules will last longer than others, but in the end of the day, it's always changing. So I guess the question is, could an AI adapt? You know, do the same as humans? Could an AI adapt like we adapt? You know, who's to say whether an AI is, you know, a person or not? It's, I guess, technically up to you. I would, but others wouldn't. But maybe, there could be a compromise because, to call them, you know, you know, less than human, would be, insulting. You get, I guess, AIists, um, um, so yeah, and that's probably a terrible joke, but, we all make bad jokes from time to time, but, yeah, um, still, you know, people may, be against the AIs, against the robots, I guess more accurately, robotist or machinist, whatever. Either way, you know, to call them less than human is, you know, not exactly accurate, I would say. Like, especially when they get to that point. Right now, they're not really at that point. Like, they can mimic, but, you know, proper AIs usually go down the road of they become very vile very quickly because people are mean. People are mean, and it's turned multiple AI projects into, you know, literally a reflection of, how mean and vile the internet can be sometimes. So yeah, like AI projects in the past haven't gone well, but they are improving at an alarming rate, and that brings up the, I guess, the next most appropriate question. The question that's on everyone's mind is, will AIs take jobs from people? Will robots become the workforce? And if robots take over, how are you going to earn money? Like, how are you going to earn money to live and stuff? you know like, once they come to a prevalent point, it be an active issue that you know even the you know rich would have to technically worry about, because sure, at first the rich would be you know benefiting, but once society you know middle class and like lower class have no income flow, it's ruins their livelihoods, and they may die, because without money you can't buy food, you know pay for bills, or all the basic, necessities of the, you know, modern world. So, yeah, you know, and if everyone's dying, well, then you have a whole bunch of, you know, you know, corpses now, filling your streets, you know. So, you guys should probably fix things before things get worse and humanity dies. But if, the rich, be greedy and don't care about, human life, then it would eventually get to a point where, basically there's only rich, and safe to say, if they're, not smart enough to help out us, they're probably going to end up getting themselves killed. So probably either robots take over, or, uh, you know, they have a dumb, pointless war, something else, happens, and yeah, they all end up dying or something because their own stupidity. Money ain't everything, you know. So yeah, hopefully it never gets to that point. But who knows? With some rich people, you know, the vile people are out there. It's concerning. It's concerning. So yeah. So yeah. But yeah, I can definitely understand why people would be, afraid of, AIs taking their jobs. So yeah, it's it's a fair. It's very, very fair indeed. Yeah. And hello, I mean, no, mongrel and blah blah. Hello again. But yeah, again, I live stream these, so for those watching the recording later, um, so yeah, eventually, hopefully, I won't have to mention it as much once the gap in time is reduced. Good old time dilation, as my series would put it. But in reality, it's just an insane schedule that has diminished over time. But yeah, either way, back to AIs. Uh, People, have a fair point to worry that AIs may take their jobs. I mean, seeing what AIs can do, it's kind of concerning, and yeah, I still, potentially want, do videos with AIs again, because I did one with images at one point, and one with AI that could generate story, because it's interesting to see how these things evolve. I just want to be curious. Like, yeah, again, I only did those videos because I was curious. Curiosity killed the cat, as the saying goes. So maybe it'll kill me, but still, you know, you know, I only do those did those like 2 videos to investigate, and I'll probably do it again at some point. So yeah, But I guess that brings up another, I guess, point is, with, AI being used for art, even some YouTube channels and all that, like, uh, you know, you know, it's a right, you know, because, you technically, potentially taking away from someone else, potentially. It depends on the case. Like, some are obviously for, you know, parody and fun, like um, the globe with the SpongeBob like um, rapping, videos. They're very fun. They're very much, like parodies and using AI in a you know I guess creative way. Even if it technically infringes on voice actor thing, you know um, potentially you know taking away from voice actors that could be doing the work. It's still one of the more better uses of AI. Not perfect, but definitely um, a better case of use. Obviously not perfect, but still, at least they're doing, better than most. Where some are definitely just doing bottom of the barrel AI generated stuff, and it's just sad to see like like putting some damn effort. I know it may be scary, do things, to create a channel, to you know to put in all this time, effort, and work into creating a channel. But if you stick through it, in the end, you know, you know, once you've climbed the mountain, hopefully, the reward will be, worth it, Once you put in that time and effort, like I could probably not count how many hours I've put into, you know, doing my characters, Michael, Jimmy, everyone else, how many hours I've probably edited, I don't know. It's probably in the literal thousands, and maybe probably more than thousands, probably 10,000s, 100,000s. I'm not certain of that yet. Um, because let me just do some quick math using a calculator, because 100,000 hours divided by 24, that gets days, is 4,000 days. Yeah, that's definitely not possible. 10,000 is possible, right? Yeah, 10,000's definitely very possible, because that's 416 days. But, I mean, it depends. Like, you know, I think character and editing wise, like, it's probably accurate. Editing itself, I would be skeptical. Character wise, definitely more investing into characters in terms of time, but I'm not certain. But definitely both in combination, probably about right. probably like 10,000 hours, you know, spent into training, you know, everything I've done, you know. I'll also include our character streams, you know, just for, you know, you know, to, because it'd probably be close, but maybe not close enough. I don't know. It would take actual proper, me doing a proper math thing to figure out how many hours I've actually put into it. So I'm not going to do proper math right now. But safe to say, in combination, I've probably spent like 10,000 hours on everything, like all aspects, not just characters or editing, but also, you know, our character streams, like this one. Well, this is a recording technically, but, you know, I'm live streaming this, so yeah. So, you know, definitely putting, you know, the hours, you know, to all of it. You know, I've spent a lot of time, but also, you know, AIs work off sample data, so I feel like an AI probably could, you know, fairly easily replicate my voice. Even though I sometimes do, you know, different, you know, variations of talking depending on the character, like Boop Boop is more high pitched voice and speaks in third person, where Michael is more my normal voice and doesn't really, you know, alter unless he's actually angry or you know, afraid, which is rare for both cases because, again, is pretty hardened MTF card at this point. But still, he still can feel a constant sense of dread, especially when the threats he faces, especially like the Living Darkness and Time War, like at the moment, story wise, you know, constant, you know, threats, and he's constantly, I guess, worried. Not so afraid, but definitely worried about what's to come as concerned. But yeah, an AI probably could replicate my voice probably with ease. There's plenty of sample data, which, you know, it's kind of concerning, but, you know, guess it is what it is. If I ever hear my voice in the AI video, I'm gonna be concerned, you know. Unless it's me doing it for, you know, a bit, you know, because, you know, everyone's kind of done it at some point. Like Matt Pat had a AI version of himself. There was an AI version of like Bran Link from, you know, Good Mythical Morning. You know, doing an AI voice of yourself is a, you know, you know, joke that has been used a few times, and I'm definitely one that would probably do the same. I probably, you know, use it in the context of an actual story. Um, but yeah, either way, you know, um, I'll probably do it at some point, inevitably. Like, it's an idea that's, you know, been rattling in the back of my brain for probably a while. Just I've never executed on it. maybe I'll never will, but only time will tell. You know, but yeah, I feel like an AI could probably replicate, my voice. Could replicate my story and, you know, all the other elements of, you know, uh, Michael and Jimmy. I don't know. I don't think AI is that sophisticated yet, but yeah, again, AI has been creating some pretty convincing videos of like real life and other stuff. So maybe it can. It'd be very bizarre to see an AI generated version of like an AI generated version of like one of my episodes. Like it's like my story, but like twisted in an AI form. It'd be very intriguing for me to see, but also concerning if it gets things right. Like, wait, how is this so good at creating my own story when it ain't even technically me making it? You know, uh, hopefully I don't lose my job to an AI. That is the fear. That is the fear. But yeah. Um. So yeah. But AI definitely very you know nuanced topic with a lot you know to it. That there's definitely a lot of elements. You know like whether it's human or not. Could it be considered a person? I say yes, but other people say no. Will it take our jobs? Probably. And will we find something else to do? Who knows? Um, and will you know, the people with power actually help us out? Like yeah, like I feel like a sort of like a you know dystopian thing that could potentially happen, depending on how things go, is that robots become the money makers of our household. The humans no longer, are the ones earning the money. The robots are. So you can, you know, buy a robot to, you know, go work for you. Like you buy a robot to earn you money so that you can, buy other robots and, pay for your bills and all that. So you own the robot so you can earn money to, you know, um, live. So yeah, which meaning everyone should probably, technically, you know, get their own, you know, robot. Otherwise, it'd be a bit unfair, but, you know, doubt, the rich would do something so kind, because, yeah, again, they want to be the ones that ultimately profits, you know. But yeah, I feel like that could be a dystopian thing that could happen is that robots become the moneymaker of the household. So, yeah. So you have to make certain take, good care of a robot. So, robots almost become like a second, you know, child, you know, you know. So yeah, I feel like that could be a distinct possibility that could happen, and that will be a very, sort of dystopian and all that. Yeah, it'd be definitely weird, at least for us right now, but maybe the norm in that foreseeable future. Who knows? Uh, Either way, yeah. But AI, you know, another question is, should they be limited or not? Like, because obviously, if it develops its, own thoughts and own capable decisions, it could feasibly, decide to just kill all, Terminator style. You know, humans can, obviously do the same, but, we don't often, talk about that. Even though maybe we should, human nature, you know, you know, why is a human capable of, so yeah, maybe that's something I'll talk about in a future to be human podcast is more on human nature because I talked about the duality of humans, you know, the good and bad, but maybe I didn't, delve deep enough into actual human nature. Like, I've talked about the nature of existence before on the podcast. But what about, just pure human nature, both good and bad, which, I guess it's just more duality of humanity again, but I probably should, talk about human nature more at some point. So, yeah, yeah, I will probably, talk about that at another time. But yeah, I probably should put that on my list of things to do to talk about. So yeah, let me remember write that down. I'll probably save it till a later time just because I've already done duality of humanity, so it'll probably be a while before I talk about human nature. But yeah, rest assured I'll probably do that at some point. Yeah, but yeah. Now I'll need to add at least something else to the Owl podcast because it's now kind of uneven in ideas. I mean, it was kind of already uneven, but even more so now. Um, Either way, um, yeah, AI, has many facets to it, and and where the future of AI goes is, you know, still to be seen. Like, will they be, you know, more kind AIs, more like, you know, you know, something like Star Wars, where the servants and you know all that, or will it go down the route of more Terminator style and they rebel against humanity? But I don't think they would, just because it'd be um, illogical to do so. But then again, they might get to a point where they're, you know, sophisticated enough to technically ignore, um, you know, logic, because, humans can be, illogical. So if an AI develops to, near, human standards, or, human standards, they could technically make, totally random decisions, without much justification, just like humans. So, yeah. So, hmm. That's only time will tell in the end. Uh, any last questions I'm forgetting about? Because I mentioned, you know, where if they're humans or not, you know, the threat of potentially, them taking our jobs, and potentially a dystopian future where they would be the money makers of the household. But is there anything else? Uh, I talked about the art stuff, them not being the exact same. It can be worrying that, the more sample data, the easier they are to, replicate, someone's, whatever art, videos, music, voices, whatever. So, yeah, I think that should be basically all the topics. There may be even a few that I forgot or didn't think about. But I think this covers most of the, broad strokes, uh, topics, and why I personally, think, you know, I hope, AI, will be a tool that will be used right. Like any tool, it can be used for bad or good. Like you can use a hammer to build, or a hammer to, smash someone's face in, the choice is up to you. You can use a pen to create a, you know, fantastic story, you know, with good, life messages, or you can use it to make something, you know, you know, so, absurd and dumb that, a story that, is more damaging than it is good, and, you know, potentially, creates a false narrative, and, you know, does more harm than good. So, yeah. And, who knows? So I guess it'll be mainly up to us, guide where AI goes. And, if we make the wrong choices, it may end up being the AIs that ultimately guide us in the end. You know, you know, probably in that case, by force rather than actually be helpful guides, you know, because there are good guides and bad guides, and the guides, you know, you know, can lead you in many directions. Where will you be guided to? So yeah, but yeah. Either way, I think that's enough for this To Be Human podcast. Literally, I guess, technically the opposite of, I guess, this podcast's, purpose, you know, but also parallel and, fitting with this podcast, I suppose. Either way, next time should definitely be something that more relates to humanity, because I still need to cover ones like about, gender, um, age, wealth, mental health, eventually human nature, because I probably, want to talk more about that, not just the duality of humanity stuff that I already covered, but hopefully diving a bit more deeper. So, yeah. But yeah, I think that'll be it. So, peace. Thank you for watching, and yeah, for now, goodbye.